Here's our maple syrup, nano-scale maple syrup production that some folks have been asking about. It's our wood cook stove. It's Waterford Stanley, does everything. Heats our home on a couple cords, and we cook on it and it bakes. But more importantly than that, well, as importantly, is it heats all our hot water, which I know a lot of you know about. You've either seen it in person or seen one of my videos on it. That's hot water up. This is cool water down. It's a thermosiphon. There's no pump. We've showered twice today, so it's recovering, and we're not doing a light fire, and it's about 125 up, 115 down. So it's picking up, 10 degrees of heat in the firebox. Here's the firebox. We put our own window in it. It doesn't come with a window. All stoves should have a window in their firebox. You can manage the fire well. Ash pan down here. We always polish off our wood. Make it even drier in there unless we're baking, because the drier the better for wood. And then we're doing germination testing here on seaberry and black locust, stratifying them and seeing what our germination rate is right now. But this is the maple syrup pan. It's just a catering pan, stainless steel. It holds about 3.5 gallons or so on one go, and it evaporates very well. We've taken the top off of it. The actual top of the stove is right here. And so that's removed. So you have to have the fire right on the pan or you won't get good results. So you don't boil maple syrup in a pot. You're not going to get anywhere. You have to have an evaporator. And so this is just a home scale evaporator. We make about a gallon and a half or so a year, which is enough for us. We use maple syrup most days and something, but we only go through about a gallon and a half for 2 people. And we have a couple quarts left from last year, actually, as we're making syrup early this year. So we'll just keep adding sap right here into this. We'll do, 3 or 4 fills and get about a quart and a half out of each of those. It's 40 to 1 or 30 to 1 when you get really sweet sap. And we're burning, it's essentially very low and embodied energy maple syrup, because maple syrup is very energy intensive. And it's a pretty greedy product. I mean, but if you make maple syrup this way, maybe we're using an extra 10 armloads of wood just to make the syrup, purely for syrup a year. I mean, figure maybe a 1/6 or an 1/8 or a 1/10 of a cord of wood, not even for the syrup function, because we're running it anyways because it's cold out. It's still late winter. So we will have an excess of syrup build up when it's running and it's warm. If it's sunny and 45 or 50 degrees and the syrup's running, then we have an excess of syrup, of sap. If the sap's running at 50 degrees, we're not running the wood stove because we don't need to be heat that day, and we get hot water from the solar. We have 2 solar domestic hot water panels. So then we'll just store sap, 3, 4, 5 buckets, and then it'll get cold again because it's still, spring, late winter, and then we'll boil again. So we will burn a little extra wood to do this, but not a whole heck of a lot. Whereas most maple syrup is dedicated energy. It's not cogeneration. Like this is a cogenerative use of energy, which is always a better way to get multiple functions when you're already burning wood. I mean, when you need to heat your house, you need a lot of heat. There's plenty of heat in this firebox to heat our home, heat our hot water, and serve to heat an evaporator pan, to be a boiler and an evaporator, a maple syrup arch. So that's all we're doing is cogenerative maple syrup production. Probably, I can't imagine a more sustainable form of sugar in this climate, except for our beehives, which we have 5 of them, and that's also where we get our sugar.